Sunday Night Surge Series rolls on here on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Welcome to the show. We're going super speedway racing at Atlanta with the Sunday Night Surge crew. 80 laps around this reformed racetrack. And out front here tonight in the qualifying order, Mark Jorgensen Jr. We've talked a lot about that 88 across a couple different series. And he's looking for one here tonight. He's going to start on the pole here as the pace car gets ready to roll off pit road. Seth Foudy, Anthony Calatoni, our point sitter, Chad Coleman sitting fourth right now. Nick Silver, Byron Daly, Glenn Campbell, Vincent Guerrero, Scotty Subzik, and Pedro Mojica, your top 10 as they roll off pit road. Joey Gentina, Alan Weil, Christian Light, Troy Haight, William Kemp, Logan Koger. Going to start 16th tonight. John Higman, Jerry Bergeron, Ron Holyfield, Kevin Stone is your top 20. 28 cars make the roll off of pit road as we get ready to go racing here tonight at Atlanta. Again, welcome everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're getting ready to go racing here in Atlanta. It's going to be it's going to be a quick race at that on the Sunday Night Surge Series. Side by side they go. This will be hopefully one of very few times we see that pace car out on track as they roll through three. If you've not seen a race in Atlanta in some time, well, you're in the place to be. Right here on Turn 1. Nearing 200 subscribers on YouTube. Really excited to announce that. If you haven't already done so, give us a sub over there. We'd appreciate the support. Meanwhile, put your hands together. Everybody stand up. Mark Jorgensen Jr., Seth Foudy, get them rolling. The green flag is out. We're Sunday Night Surge racing on Turn 1. Free and clear. Everybody got off the line pretty clean here. They're three wide, about 2 rows back. Jorgensen's got Foudy on the outside. Side by side coming down the backstretch. Huge push by the 84 of Anthony Calatoni. Puts Mark Jorgensen on the pole. No pressure on the outside as they round turn 4 to come across the stripe for the first time here tonight to complete lap number 1. As they roll off here into turn 1, Jorgensen riding right below that bottom line, right below that white and red line you're seeing here. That bottom line of cars looking the most organized now on that outside row. It looks like, who is that? That is the 50 of Nick Silver. That's a relative newcomer here to the Sunday Night Surge Series, qualifying well and driving forward. And he's going to have a little bit of help from the 7. That is Foudy right there with him. Chad Coleman, that third car on that outside line. Again, our championship leader for this season right now, sitting 25 points to the good. Looking to have another solid night here. It's race number 9 of the season. We've only got 3 more. And then not only that, but we go super speedway racing next Sunday night. That's right, Sunday Night Surge takes on Daytona. Gonna be a good show right here on Turn 1. Meanwhile, Mark Jorgensen Jr. continues to lead them around right on the very bottom of the racetrack. Minding his P's and Q's, that car looks really stable with that Talking Giants 84 Chevrolet of Anthony Calatoni right there on the bumper. We saw Jorgensen have a pretty strong start, but found he was able to hang on the outside, at least for a little bit. Now Glenn Campbell has worked himself up to that third place spot on that inside line. And then we see the 45 of Vincent Guerrero. He has driven himself forward on that bottom line. Now he's going to move up in front of the 50 of Silver and take the lead on that outside group. So far, that outside line, everybody slides up the racetrack. Gets a little snug there behind Guerrero. So far, that inside line looks to be the strongest. Stay free and clear here, rolling across the front stretch here at Atlanta. Working lap number 6. Another driver, a relative newcomer. I don't know if I've heard this name, Christian Light, in that 11 car. He's worked himself up. Oh, we got a big wreck. A bunch of cars get tangled up, make contact down here in turn 3, and the caution is going to be out for the first time tonight here in Atlanta for the Sunday Night Surge Series. That's with Ron Holifield, John Higman, Ryan Cook, Doug Sigmund, and Brian Workman involved. Let's go see if we can take a quick look and find out what may have happened here. This was towards... Nope, this was certainly in front of Ron. Nope, that's going to be Brian. He's not going to have a great look at that. Let's do this. Let's jump here. Oh! The 19 hooks the 11 there, then that's the 73 rather. And then just nowhere to go, blocking pretty much the entire field. The natural banking here drove a bunch of cars straight up the track. That's John Higman. And I believe it was the 73, and then also the 11, I believe I mentioned. That was Christian Light. We were just talking about him. Those two made contact to kick all that off. And that's going to bring the caution out for the first time here tonight on turn 1. Mark Jorgensen leads, Anthony Calatoni, Glenn Campbell, Scotty Subsic sitting P4 tonight. Christian Light, Vincent Guerrero is 6th, Nick Silver, Seth Vowdy, Chad Coleman, 9th, and Joey Gentina sitting in the top 10 here early. Again, as I mentioned, we're headed to Daytona next Sunday night for race number 10 of the Sunday Night Surge Series right here on Turn 1. Make sure you're tuned in either on Facebook, do a search for Turn 1 Broadcasting, or head on over to YouTube and do the same. Get subscribed, followed, like, do whatever you need to do to get connected. We have got a really good run of races coming down the pipe here for the Sunday Night Surge Series. Speaking of, you can catch the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series right here on Turn 1 tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. I look forward to seeing you. We're under caution for the first time tonight here in Atlanta. You're watching Turn 1. Getting doubled up here and ready to go. Back green flag racing here on lap 11 on turn 1. Really interesting lane choice for the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. He's electing to take that outside line with Anthony Calatoni covering the bottom. Maybe a little bit of a teammate chicanery there going on either way. We're about to find out as Scotty Subs, Glenn Campbell, Vincent Guerrero round out the top 5. Christian Light elected to not come down pit road, even though he had a little bit of contact on that left rear from the 73. That car looks relatively unscathed. We'll see how this all shakes out. Pace car's going to head down pit road. First caution in the books here at Atlanta. And there it is, the green flag flying back out. We're back underway here for the Sunday Night Surge Series on lap number 10. Just as I suspected, Jorgensen able to get free and clear out there on the outside off the nose of the 84. Calatoni with a huge shove down the backstretch gets them rolling there on the bottom as the field starts to separate a little bit, about 2/3 of the way back. Meanwhile, this outside line being led by the 71 of Scotty Subsix looking to hang on here. They did not have an impressive showing early. They're going to get really tight to one another down turn 1-2 here as another car pops out. Who was that? That was the 11. Had a bit of a run there on the bottom, and he's going to pop out. Going to be alongside Nick Silver as those two battle side by side, coming across a stripe here. This lets Glenn Campbell on the inside. He can't quite get away from him. Meanwhile, Calatoni and Jorgensen, they're glued to each other like white on rice right there. All the way through 1 and 2. They've actually built a little bit of a gap just behind them, about a 3-car gap at times. Now it looks like Campbell's going to suck back up to the 84 here, and he's going to get to pull away just a little bit. Single file, 1, 2, 3, as they come across the stripe to take lap 13. Meanwhile, Light in the 11, he's going nothing but backwards here, stuck in the middle. It's getting a little tight back there. He is no help, and he is just sitting in the middle with nowhere to go. Logan Coger's going to squeeze by on the outside. Now the 77's going to try to get that spot. That's Levi Poland trying to work by him here. Pedro Mojica, P2 in the points right now. He's sitting back here as well. I know we'll be seeing him up near the front before it's all said and done. And then we look a little further back, you can tell some of the bigger names. Byron Daly's back here, Stephen Miles. He's hanging back here with this group of damaged cars. And everybody just hanging on, minding their P's and Q's. No reason to push the issue. Still very early here, as now the top 5 on the bottom have gotten single filed out as they work it around Atlanta. While we've got the opportunity, let's ride on board with it, driver. Let's ride on board with our points leader. That is the 38 of Chad Coleman as he works around here at Atlanta. A lot of lifting going on there as Coleman hangs on to that 5th place spot. Meanwhile, out back behind this field, things are starting to separate a good bit. We take a look back here behind Levi Poland. That's Troy Hay, William Kemp, Logan Koger in this group. But then everybody else is starting to scatter out. These are some of those cars involved in that incident a little while ago that bring out the first caution. They're about, we'll call it half a straightaway back. Meanwhile, out front, Mark Jorgensen Jr. continues to lead. Started on the pole, has led every single lap so far here tonight. With that 84 Talking Giants Chevrolet of Anthony Calatoni right there behind him. Just cruising here at Atlanta. That outside line starting to look like it's collecting itself. And Scotty Subsick hanging out on that outside line at the moment. He's up 4 spots on the night, looking pretty good. And he's going to have a little bit of help. That is Nick Silver. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Nick Silver in the 50 alongside of him, but that's the 11 of Christian Light behind him. Christian also on a decent night so far. Started 14th, working his way forward as well on that outside line, and all of a sudden we're starting to see that outside line gain more momentum than we have all night long. Across a stripe they go. That's lap 21 of 80. Jorgensen right there on the bottom, but here comes that outside line. They are organized and rolling. Here comes the 71. Alongside now Glenn Campbell. This is the first time we've seen that outside line start to come together. That's with the help of the 11, but it's starting to fall apart back behind him. That's Troy Hayes back there as well. Has found himself that 3rd spot on back. Logan Koger's working his way through the field. He's up 6 spots right now into the top 10. Starting to get a little dicey back here. Getting that 11. Looking for a little bit of draft from all sides. Looking for a little bit of side draft as well as they tear down the backstretch here. Nobody has really been able to get up there to the 88 and challenge, especially on that outside line at all, as the 44 Campbell, that car gets a little snug, nearly slides up to the door of the 71. They keep it away from each other, but just barely as they roll down here off into 1 and 2 again. These laps taking off here pretty quick, about 30 seconds a lap. So we're screaming through it here. Keep in mind, we've got, just a score here. I was about to say, I think we got a car going around somewhere back there, but no. As the field starts to tighten up a little bit of a longer green flag run here. That is 14 laps. After it's all said and done, I suspect we would see some of these drivers come in around lap 45 or so. I do believe they can one-stop this race tonight. Tires won't be as much of a factor, but if you get a chance to take them, you should. As we see now that outside line, well, it's challenging. Here comes the 71 of Subsick with the 11 of Christian Light. Side by side. The 71 is going to have half a car out there before it becomes a drag race down to 1 and 2. That outside line started to come to fruition tonight for the first time in Atlanta as they roll down the backstretch. The 71 leads by half a car, a quarter inch. This is the first pressure Mark Jorgensen's felt all night. Scotty Subsick. It was tight to the line last time, but he's going to for sure lead a lap. New leader, the 71. The 11 of Christian Light with a huge shove out there. Gets the 71 free and clear now. Out front on that outside line, that's the driver. Who was that bailing out back there? Was that, I'm not sure, was that Coleman? It was not. I'm not sure. Somebody was bailed out down there on the apron. Either way, the 71, now the 11's trying to pitch. Mark Jorgensen's going to drive him nearly all the way down to the grass. Jorgensen won't take to that too kindly, as he's going to be right to the bumper of the 11, all the way down at 1 and 2. Jorgensen's hungry. He's looking for a little bit of clean air, poking that nose down to the inside, trying to get the help from the 84. Jorgensen's going to poke his nose. He's actually going to be there this time. Strong run off a 4 is going to put him on the inside. That's going to abandon the 11, Christian Light. He's going to have no help when he's stuck on that outside. Now Jorgensen's going to try to dump the 71, and he's going to get it done. That's going to partner the 71 and the 11 back up, but not the 4. Jorgensen is going to lead another lap on that inside line. Oh, it's going to be a drag race. The 71 got a huge run off of turn 4. He's going to poke underneath here, this lap down car. That's Stephen Miles in the 24. Miles stuck on that high side, going to go a lap down. Scotty Simzik going to lead this last lap. He's going to now go seal the bottom. Meanwhile, who is that up there? That is that Vincent Guerrero? It is Vincent Guerrero now. He's going to be able to push the 11. The 88 shoves the 71 way out front. This time, though, the 71 is going to seal the bottom ride right there in the tire, right there in the bottom line, along that white seam. The Jorgensen nowhere to go, and he knows that outside line just doesn't have the run, so now he's out front just shoving the 71. This does give the 88 a little bit of a break as the 11 starting to side draft the 84. A huge run down out of 4. But we've seen the 88 lead in most of the laps here tonight so far. First time or first couple laps riding behind somebody, allowing him to breathe that throttle a little bit, maybe save a little bit of fuel. He's been on the point, and anybody that's done any super speedway racing knows you've got your foot planted the entire time. Well, that's 71 car now out on the point. The 88 can take a breath. The 11 still back there and diving around. That's Vincent Guerrero. That was getting a little sporty back there. There's another driver, I think, nearly into the wall. He's going backwards. Things are starting to heat up here. Lap 32. Closing in on the halfway point of tonight. Meanwhile, the 88 has the 71 out front by 4 or 3 car lengths. As they come across the stripe now, Jorgensen starting to fall off the bumper a little bit. The 84 trying to gather a bit of that run up. We've seen the 84 and the 88 be glued together for a good portion of this green flag run. They could leapfrog the 71 right here. They're going to lose a ton of time, though, right behind them. They needed to make that move coming to the front stretch, but instead, now the field's going to catch back up with them. Here comes the 11 aligned on the outside. Clint Campbell's going to get checked up on the inside as they roll off of turn 2. Out front. Still single file for the top 3. Light not able to challenge up there just yet. Everybody gets a little stuck. Starts chasing one another on the entrance of turn 3. Keeps it clean. As the 88 stays right into the tire tracks of the 71. Really strong night for a bunch of drivers. Again, Christian Light, he's up 9 spots on the night, currently riding in that 4th row on the high line. Not a bad night for him. Logan Coger so far kept it clean. He's sitting up at 8th, currently 8 spots up on the night. William Kemp knocking on the door of the top 10, sitting in 10th right now, up 5 spots. But all eyes up front here now as the 11's going to have a little bit of help. Guerrero in the 45 is caught back up off the bumper of Guerrero, off the bumper of Coger. They're going to have a bit of a run down here down the backstretch, but there's going to be a lap traffic that's going to tangle this group up. Light's not sure where to go. He's going to duck to the inside. That's Byron Daly. They're going to put another lap down. The field's going to work by him right as it gets a little skinnier there off of 2. I'm sorry, off of 4. Free and clear, though. Everybody squeezes by that lap traffic. Meanwhile, Light starting to build that momentum again off the bumper of the 45. Just on the outside line. Light now there alongside the 71. Oh, that's somebody deep down on the apron here. That's Nick Silver. He took it to the apron, was able to hold it, kept to stay out of everybody's way. Nobody getting into any trouble there. Meanwhile, Nick Light's got some help from the 45. Here comes Logan Coger. Christian Light's going to move down to the bottom. The 11's going to take the point now on that inside line. New leader, Christian Light, as they come across the stripe to take lap 39. Now, all of a sudden, Jorgensen at that 88, after being near the front all night tonight, he's barred back in 4th or 5th, depending on the outside line there. He's got 3 cars off his nose, or 2 cars off his nose, and he's going to have to try to figure out what he can do here. As we're starting to see the fuel load get a little lighter in these ARCA machines, and the tires start to wear. And all of a sudden, these drivers are dealing with handling conditions they haven't needed to all night. Meanwhile, Coger shoves the 45 up there past the 11. Vincent Guerrero now the leader, but here comes Logan Coger on the outside. Logan's got a full head of steam as they roll down off into turn 3. The 09 of William Kemp gave him a huge shove there, rode the wave all the way up. That's Levi Poland up into the top 5 for the first time tonight on the outside. Now, Logan Coger, Vincent Guerrero, William Kemp, Christian Light, Levi Poland your top 5. Keep in mind, only 2 drivers, Logan Coger, William Kemp, stopped on that first caution on lap number 7. So everybody else in this top 10 or so, really everybody else in the entire field, is going to have to come down to pit as Coger moves up to block the line of the 11, Guerrero on the bottom. This is where we've seen the 88 historically make some decisions that weren't too smart. He's got to think clearly here, got to be very intentional with his moves. He's moving back and forth, trying to block the momentum of both lines. No point in trying to overdrive the car. Right now, we're just past halfway here at Atlanta. And a whole bunch of new drivers at the point here tonight on the Sunday Night Surge Series. This field here, this front leader group of about 15 or so. Trying to confirm. Actually, that's it looks like 11 cars in this front pack. Well, a little bit more than that. That's Byron Daly up there. He's caught on to the draft. So some of these machines a lap or 2 down up here running with this lead group. But either way, ticking the laps off here. And meanwhile, Christian Light's got some help. Kemp on the outside. Light's going to get a huge shove out past Byron Daly. He's not looking down there just yet. Now he's going to slide down off the quarter of 4. Take the lead there, put Logan Coger back into that second place position. Light, for a moment there, stayed to the high line or ran the middle of both, trying to give the 09 of Kemp a little bit of draft, and it worked. Kemp now's going to move to the outside as they come down the backstretch. The 09 is going to have a huge shove from the 77 here, and all of a sudden, William Kemp, he's got some momentum on that high line again. He can move down on the 11, but he chooses not to, pulling the 77 up there with him. Those two free and clear of the 11, at least for a moment. Kemp's now going to come down to the bottom, but Levi Poland into 77. Right on the outside, looking for more. Big run here tonight for the 77. First time this season at Sunday Night Surge Series, sitting up 14 spots. It's sorry, 19 spots. Levi Poland as William Kemp's up 14 spots right there. A bunch of drivers starting outside of the top 10, now leading here on lap 47. Again, halfway, or past halfway tonight, Sunday Night Surge Series right here on Turn 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Thank you, B, for being here. The Sim 500 Sunday Night Surge Series, race number 9. Next Sunday, we head to Daytona, but that's before. Or that's after we get done here tonight at Atlanta. And the 77 glued to the 09 of Kemp as they rolled across the strike. Kemp able to lead that lap. The 77 of Poland now free and clear. Here comes Mark Jorgensen Jr. on the outside. We got a car scraping the wall. That was the 4th car back there on that top line. That may have been Stephen Miles, I believe. Whoa! 77's going to move up, make contact with the 88. That's sideways. That's Anthony Calatoni sideways, and the caution's out. That 84 Chevrolet going to be tore up. And it looks like Stephen Miles may have also been collected in this as well. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, Miles gets turned. This was actually during the green flag. That is actually what brought, or I'm sorry, that is what Miles was tangled up for. That's why we saw him go a lap down. Now let's go back here and look at Anthony Calatoni. Oh, he just gets hooked pretty hard there. I can't tell exactly who that was. Was that Glenn Campbell? I believe it was. And Calatoni went for a ride and a ton of damage on that 84. That's going to bring the caution out, and I imagine we will see everybody come down pit road for tires and fuel here tonight. Couple drivers, though, those are going to be our lap down cars, going to stay out. William Kemp leads. Christian Light, Coker, Poland, Jorgensen down pit road for the attention of their crews. Under caution only for the 2nd time here tonight. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll talk about who came out on top and who came out a loser off pit road. When we come back, you're watching Turn 1. Getting ready to go back green here tonight at Atlanta. Only the second caution of the night. Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to be on the outside, but it's going to be William Kemp, the leader, on the control car on the bottom here. He rolls off pit road first. Then it's Jorgensen, Vincent Guerrero, Joey Chatina. He's up a couple spots, sitting fourth, and Scotty Subzik, your top five. Pace car down pit road. They're going to see the green flag down into the restart zone. 30, well, they'll see 29 to go here in Atlanta. Kemp free and clear on the bottom. Cruising right along there. Meanwhile, the 45 of Guerrero is going to poke it on the outside. No real tight drafting on the outside line just yet as they make the first full lap back under green. Kemp in some trouble here. It looks like that's the 71. He's going to poke down below. Scotty Subzik, he was going to make a move there now. He's going to settle back in. Kemp's going to shut the door. That's going to put Guerrero out front all by himself. He's going to want to quickly find somebody. Otherwise, yep, there it is. Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to have a ton of speed on the bumper. Joey Chatina. Mark Jorgensen Jr. back to the point, our pole sitter here tonight. Leading on that outside line with 27 to go. Down the back stretch on that outside line. Very interesting to see. Jorgensen has not moved down yet. Now here comes the push on the bottom. It's Guerrero led with Kemp right there now. Jorgensen, I think he regretted not moving down. The 45 is going to be credited with leading this lap as Jorgensen takes to that top line. Holding forward up there. We saw the runs come from that outside line many times here tonight as the 09 is going to pop out and take the point on the outside. Challenge the 45 at Guerrero. Had a bit of a trap coming down the backstretch. That's going to suck the 88 back to the outside now. They're going to have a big push here. Kemp's going to be in the great spot. This is what I was going to mention. These runs have come from the outside, and they have been strong. And we'll see it come to fruition probably right here as they roll off into 3. We saw the 88 tight to the bumper of the 09. Not as quite a bit of a run as I would have expected. Yeah, there it is. Now the 88's glued right to the bumper. That inside line not looking as stable as it has. Maybe the track heating up a little bit as they're nearly 3, or they are 3 wide back there. That's around 10. That is Byron Daly right there in the mix. Glenn Campbell's in this as well. And that is the 50 of Nick Silver. Pedro Mojica sitting there. It's a little bit of a crazy town up front right up there. No spots at the moment. Steven Miles. He has worked himself back into the top 4. Wow, let's not say back. He's worked himself back to the front of this pack. This time he's on the lead lap. Miles hanging out that third position on the bottom. Now, a new driver moving his way forward as we see Jorgensen start to slide back. That is Jerry Bergeron. He's challenging on the outside for the first time tonight. The 01 up front, up 16 spots. Alongside the 45 Guerrero. Bergeron making a hard move there. He's going to move down. Whoa, that gets close. He went down to the bottom to shut the door of Guerrero. Barely clipped the nose of the 45. That could have been disastrous across this field. The disaster averted. Now the 71 trying to hang on to the 45's coattails. We are 3 wide now. Third row back for 2 rows. Jorgensen's playing right in the middle there, just on south of 71. And then Steven Miles has got Logan Coger on the outside. That's the 50. Oh, he's getting tight. Glenn Campbell's glued to him. Boy, that's getting... There he goes! The 50 goes around. We saw that coming about half a quarter before it was there. Nick Silver goes for a ride. That's going to bring the caution out. Let's find out exactly what happened, even though we watched it live. Glenn Campbell all over the bumper, and then Logan Coger was there to catch him on that middle line. Fortunate what could potentially be the end of the competitive night of the 50 car, as he had to tow to the pits. And our leader, Jerry Bergeron, in the 01, sitting on the point here under caution for the third time. We're going to step aside really quick and be right back. I think we're going to come back to Green Flag, or I'm sorry, Green Flag Racing with what? We're going to call it about 20 to go. We'll find out. You're watching Turn 1. It's about to get shook loose here tonight in Atlanta, the Sunday Night Surge Series, live on Turn 1. We're getting ready to go back Green Flag Racing. Vincent Guerrero, William Kempf in the front row. Jerry Bergeron came down pit road. I'm not sure what that was about. I did show he came down with the rest of the field on 49. Not sure what happened there. Either way, we're going to have a handful of laps left here. And I don't suspect, if I were to hazard a guess, I don't think we're done seeing the flagman wave that yellow flag here tonight in Atlanta for this group. These ARCA cars, they're a lot of fun to watch, and you can continue to tune in to them right here on Turn 1 for the next 4 weeks, as we had the Daytona and then 2 other events after that to wrap up this Sunday Night Surge Series. Pace car hits pit road. Vincent Guerrero gets a rolling. Green flag back out. That is going to be, that's right, 17 to go here at Atlanta on the Sunday Night Surge Series. Another caution out. Looking to see who was slow. Christian Light here. May have went for a little bit of a ride. Let's see if we can find out what happened to the 11. Oh, he made contact with Seth Foudy in the 7. Both those drivers go around. That was way back in the field. Another caution out here. So we'll go back and we're gonna go back under caution. I was just right. I knew the flag man had that flag ready to roll and pulled it back out here one more time in Atlanta. They're going to re-rack him again. Vincent Guerrero, William Kempf on the front row. Scott Subzik, Mark Jorgensen Jr. P4, Stephen Miles. What a great recovery out of that 24. It wasn't long ago we saw him doing a lap or another lap down in that 24 car. A really, really nice recovery for him, sitting 5th at the moment. Joey Chatina having a really strong night as well on the outside. He's going to restart 6th. Pedro Mojica out of nowhere in the top 10. And then it's Chad Coleman and Mike Kelly. Ron Holyfield in the top 10 as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing here. Wrapping up the 4th caution of the night. Pace car is going to duck down pit road. There it is, green flag back out. 13 laps remaining here tonight in Atlanta. Kemp had about a half a car lead, now down to a full car. He can get clear of the 45. The 88's going to tuck in right to the back bumper. But that inside line's just going to have the momentum here in the shorter distance around. And with the help of the 71 and the 24, Guerrero's going to be out front by a car lead. Got to be mindful of these runs as they start looking 2 and 3 wide back. The 88 all over the bumper, the 09 as they come across the stripe. Down off into turn 1. Kemp has the 88 has the help of the 88 on that outside line. They don't really have anybody else back behind them. That's the 14 and Jatina there, but they're not super tight. Now we're starting to see Byron Daly make a run on the third line. All of a sudden, Seth Bowdy's up there. Logan Coger's on the move. Third line coming alive here as a couple cars make contact in the turn 1 wall. Now it's a 3-wide battle for the lead. Byron Daly challenges on the outside. The 09 of William Kemp right here in the middle. Vincent Guerrero on the bottom. 3-wide battle. Byron Daly's going to look to the outside. That's going to be 10 laps to go. Seth Bowdy's going to have a huge shove to him, and then he's going to move down. Byron Daly's going to move with him. New point man, the 06. All of a sudden, that 3-wide run's going to come apart. Kemp's going to be the third car in line. Now it's going to be Jorgensen. He's stuck in the middle. The 71. Who is that? That's Logan Coger back there as well. Mayhem breaking out here with 9 to go. Daly's going to lead. That bottom line's completely falling apart. Jorgensen's looking to make momentum, make some hay on that outside line. Guerrero's going to squeeze out to the bottom and shoot down there, hoping to get that momentum off the corner. Daly's going to be right there. It's going to be a drag race. Down the front stretch, Guerrero's going to lead. Byron Daly is not going to let that live too long, though. He's got the help of the 88. Right on that outside line. Stephen Miles stuck in the middle, about 6 rows back. He's going nowhere but backwards. Daly and Jorgensen are connected on that outside line. On the inside, it's Guerrero and Kemp. Jorgensen gets tight, rolling off into 3. That's going to slow up that outside line. Guerrero's going to continue to lead. Seth Bowdy, don't forget about him. The 70, I'm sorry, that is the 7 there. As the 09 is going to move up by himself. No help, the caution's out. Oh no, I believe it is Chad Coleman, our point sitter. It's going to bring the caution out, our points leader. Bringing the caution out here. Oh no, that's actually going to collect our top 2. That's that's Pedro Mojica and Chad Coleman involved in this one. Coleman able to continue on, but that is 1-2 in the points, making contact here and bringing the caution out. Well, this is going to shake some things up. I believe we're going to go back green flag racing with about 5 to go. We'll see if Coleman comes down pit road to the attention of his crew to get that car maybe realigned a little bit before the end of this thing. He needs to have a solid night here, only about a 25 lap or point lead out front, and going into next week at Daytona, you certainly want to have the best finish you possibly could scrape away here at Atlanta on this very short 12 race season, and we're wrapping up race number 9 right here tonight. Vincent Guerrero leads, William Kemp, Seth Bowdy, Scotty Subsick, and Byron Daly in the top 5. We're going to step aside for what could be our final break of the night right here on Turn 1. Just a handful of laps remain here tonight in Atlanta. Wrapping up the 5th caution on the Sunday Night Surge Series. Vince Guerrero, William Kemp, Scotty Subzik, Seth Vowdy, Byron Daly, your top 5 here. We've seen this top 5 group really cycle through. Out of our top 5, I see, goodness gracious, that's 27 positions gained from the start. All told, pace car down pit road. Who's going to bring home the checker flag here tonight from Atlanta? Green flag out as they come across the stripe. 3 to go. Oh, big wreck on the front stretch. So far, no caution. It stays green. That collected Jorgensen and others, but it stays green. Kim's going to lead coming out of that chaos. He's got something right there to the bumper. They're rolling. About 5, 6, 7 cars now as they come out of turn 4. Here comes the 71 on the outside. He's got some help by Levi Poland. Poland's going to look to the high line. 2 to go. The 44 Campbell's going to be up here. And here comes Pedro Mojica in the 58. 3 wide down the backstretch. Guerrero is going to poke out on the bottom. Subzik's going to lead. Here comes William Kemp on the outside. Vincent Guerrero, white flag is out. One more time around. We saw the 58 make big contact there. That was with the 71. Guerrero's going to move down. We are racing to the checkered flag regardless of what happens here. Kemp's going down to the bottom. Trying to block the 71. Guerrero's back there looking for a place to go. Pedro Mojica sitting in 4th. The 71 looks to the outside. He's going to have some help. And a big shove. The 71. Scotty Subzik's going to win. Vincent Guerrero, William Kemp, your top 3. Pedro Mojica is going to bring home a 4th place finish. Glenn Campbell, your top 5. What a wild last 4 laps there here tonight. Some notables for you, obviously. Pedro Mojica is going to finish 4th. Chad Coleman is going to finish 17th here tonight in Atlanta. Not the night our point center wanted to see, but he's going to keep that spot nonetheless. But out front, the 71 of Scotty Subzik is going to win. And he's going to burn him down here in Atlanta. We're going to step aside, and we'll talk to our top 3. It's a post-race coverage right here on Turn 1. Back live here in Atlanta. Subzik's going to continue to burn it down on the front stretch. Let's talk to our 2nd place driver, Vincent Guerrero. Vincent, congratulations on a P2 run here tonight. Up front most of the night in the 45. How was the car here in Atlanta, and what happened there on that last restart, scattering everybody out?
Tonight, especially in clean air, but yeah, on that last restart there, I don't know, person behind me maybe spun some tires. I don't know. You know, I did the same restart as I did the previous one, so I kind of was a bummer there because I had no help. And so I was just trying to manage what kind of finish I could do here at the end. I thought maybe I could have squeezed out to the outside, but 71, I think, did a hello job protecting that outside lane there coming to the line.
Yeah, Vincent, we saw you tonight really pull off some of the more stronger runs of the night in this ARCA machine, and we know this car is very sensitive to runs anyhow, but coming to a track like Atlanta, it looked like that was amplified even more. from a driving perspective, what was this like for you in the cockpit of the 45 in terms of managing the run and the draft here?
Yeah, it was tough because if you get too far up front, the cars behind will just have a tremendous run, and you can't really just block in these cars, So you got to kind of manage the throttle there while leading. If they, you don't want them to build up a big old run, because then you just act like a parachute, and then when they get to you, you could cause a major check up there. So yeah, it was pretty tough to manage that.
Well, Vincent, you're going to Daytona next Sunday night. Anything you could take away from here in Atlanta to potentially try to capitalize on a top 3 finish?
Staying up front, I think. If you can stay up front, you have a better chance of avoiding all that carnage there. But unfortunately, I won't be able to make it next weekend. But good luck to all the drivers.
Well, Vincent, congratulations. P2 here tonight in Atlanta. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
It's a P2 here tonight at Atlanta. We'll quickly talk to race winner. The driver of the 71, Scotty, congratulations. What a wild last 3 laps, but walk me through your night. It looked like not only driving through the field here, you had a good bit of pace, but minding your P's and Q's and kept that 71 free and clear.
Yeah, man, that was cool. It was a good win, and honestly, it was just kind of keeping pace at the front, making sure I didn't fall too far back so that I would get involved in any of the shenanigans that might have been going on, and honestly, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, you kind of just had to ride a line and hope that the people behind you were going to get to you and give you a good push. Like, I couldn't tell if the bottom was going to be better at the top, and like it kind of went back and forth, and you could pass on the top, and a couple times I got swamped, and guys blew through me, on the top side. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was kind of being in the right place at the right time. That's how the speedway stuff goes sometimes.
Yeah, Scotty, we were talking to Vincent just a moment ago, and he mentioned how being out front likely is going to keep you in the best position. It sounds like you're echoing that. Anything you learned for next week at Daytona, maybe be able to replicate the result here?
You just, you can get really big runs with these cars, and I took, maybe 1 to go or 2 to go. I had a guy maybe 15 miles an hour difference in speed and really clobbered me on the back there, but it gave me the boost that I needed. So I suppose that I learned these cars can take a little bit of a beating when it comes to pushing and shoving, and they're very manageable and controllable. In Daytona, I'm sure it'll be somewhat the same, maybe a little bit faster.
Well, Scotty, listen, congratulations. A wild finish here tonight, being able to bring home the checkered flag at Atlanta. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for the broadcast, everything, and Sim 500. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. Scotty Simpson is going to be your winner here tonight in Atlanta. Let's quickly talk to William Kemp through Broadhold P3, and was pretty competitive. William, congratulations. Up 12 spots on your qualifying effort there. Finished 3rd, but that 09 looked pretty sharp up front. Walk me through your night.
Yeah, we had a pretty good night overall. Qualifying, I would have liked to start a little further up front than what I did, but I was able to keep her clean and work the way up to the front, and there at the end, I guess I made my move just strayed way too early, basically, there in the last lap. I probably should have waited till the backstretch until I made my move to pass for the lead, because it's so hard to block when you're up front. So
yeah, Scotty, we were talking to everybody just a moment ago, and they mentioned how these runs were just as big here tonight as they usually are each and every week. Is there really anything you can do to defend? I think we saw a couple drivers try to block both lines, but it really never came to fruition. And you also can't really get away too much here in Atlanta. Do you think that's going to duplicate or replicate again at Daytona next week?
Oh, most certainly. We're probably going to see a lot of this similar racing to next week at Daytona, but the only difference is we'll be able to hold it more wide open, because this track you actually had to manage tires a little bit because they did wear out in that longer run. So, but next week that tires shouldn't be an issue, but the runs were huge. They're so hard to block.
William, we saw we talked to Vincent. He mentioned it, and Scotty also did, that it seems like the front here in Atlanta, it was the place to be here tonight. And based on your running position, I assume you would agree with that. Had you had those last 10 laps back, what would you have done differently?
Man, probably wait a little later to make my move for the win. Not have done it on the straightaway going into turn 1. Waited till coming out of turn 4 like them guys did it. That was the way to do it.
Well, you stayed free and clear all night. Didn't have a whole lot of damage or any damage at all on that 09. Led some laps and ultimately finishing third here tonight, William. Congratulations and thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.
William Kemp, P3 here tonight at Atlanta as we're going to wrap up race coverage here on Turn 1. What a wild night here in Atlanta. We didn't expect anything less out of the Sunday Night Surge Series. As we've talked about, we're heading to Daytona next Sunday night, 9 Eastern, 8:30 or 8 Central rather, right here on Turn 1. Tomorrow night, the Cooks Landscape Group Cup Series comes back to you live right here on YouTube and Facebook. We look forward to you being there. That goes live at 8:30, 7:30 Central, right here again on Turn 1. On behalf of the League Admins, I'm Sean Fitz. Appreciate you all tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow tonight for some Cup racing right here. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.